Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Motherland for Salem, Season 2, Episode 6, My Three Dads, which I'm guessing is Abigail. We are going home for the holidays. Raelle is not in a good way, Abigail has a new spark, and I'm excited to keep watching this wonderful show. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions up on my Patreon. I would wait a couple of days though, because of the way Patreon works, before subbing to anyone's Patreon, becoming a patron to anybody, because you tend to get charged the day you sign up and then on the first of the month. So we're very, very close to the end of the month. Wait till then. But yeah, let's go.
From our blood.
Oh, it's Nicta, right? What are you going to do about the Camarilla? I agree, let's stop conscription, but what are you going to do about the Camarilla?
Or deployment. Or the spree.
Okay.
And yeah, definitely not Scylla.
Okay.
That's a lot not to talk about.
Maybe you should have prepped her on the way rather than when you were here.
I thought the house was going to be empty.
This does look the opposite of empty.
Yeah, people in the session
Oh.
haven't really been shy in expressing it. She causes more problems than she fixes, doesn't she? So your ghost Older had Nick de Batan kill the librarian front.
She started the show being a true believer, then she had doubts, then she was a true believer, and now she's at a doubt.
I'll always have a choice.
You better. I'm scared the mushroom's going to take over, but Raelle will never just do whatever Alder says. So what if she threatened Tally or Abigail? Who are you? I'm stressed. Is that the Camarilla or the spree? Or the army, keeping tabs?
Pleasant surprise.
A surprise being the key word.
Yeah.
Right, Claude?
I didn't understand the scope of Abigail's family.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is very different from where you came from. And very different from where Tally and Raelle came from. Did they kill her parents? Oh, wow. Disgusting. That poor baby.
The same person you were a year ago.
Then why did I laugh when I killed Shane?
You murdered Shane.
Tell me he didn't deserve it for...
Scylla. I mean...
Let's go for some hot chocolate.
Scylla is a better person than she was at the beginning, or at least I don't think she'd do any atrocities like that, but she still murders very easily.
Recognize that car? It was outside the diner too.
Is it Alder keeping tabs?
Yeah, no. You're military?
I thought it might be.
Wait, where's the other two? You are the trouble, cadet. Yeah, well...
Wait till she saves your life.
Cookies. Tally.
It's very Tally. They're not Alder.
Having a daughter goddess permit is part of being a soldier.
There's no greater joy. You'll see.
This isn't a time for joy.
She's still a kid herself.
It's a mistake to work with her at all. General.
Sometimes people know better than you, Alder.
Memory may have taken up, but now I need you back by my side.
She's not as loyal as she was. She's so good at manipulating and twisting loyalty.
When was my mom's best friend?
Oh.
She was babysitter too.
I love seeing Raelle's home and her people.
Well, this allows you to commune with the Holy Spirit. Really? No, not really.
Tally will believe you if you say it with enough gravitas.
I watched her write to you. There's nothing but love on those pages.
Also a nice dose of abandonment, unfortunately.
Raelle tried to summon Willa on Samhain. She didn't come. On the hallowed ground of Fort Salem, the requested dead cannot refuse to appear. I guess it's more of a suggestion than a rule. She didn't show.
That means she's not dead. Tell her what that means.
And what would you contribute to our line?
That isn't why I'm here.
I mean,
As Abigail explained, I just needed a...
we didn't know that there was going to be a episode of The Bachelorette.
Has incredible weather. It's like you're talking about breeding stallions.
Yeah, that is how they work.
Mares.
We each contributed the best of us to make Abigail.
How does that work? A kennel somewhere. Oh my god, this is brutal.
Were you there?
Daisy? No. That Greenville.
Was anyone there?
Every everything changed. The first confirmed spree attack was in 97.
So you think Nikta gave her working to the spree?
Nikta started the spree. Yep.
Nikta created
Yep.
the spree.
You got there, my love. You have become exactly what you hated, if not potentially worse than what you hated.
He was unavailable at some dinner event. I think he was their butler.
We'll survive whatever Alder or anyone else throws at us. I don't want to just survive. What if I can change things?
I'm so stressed for them, but I believe they have the power to change the world. I love them. This is just so awkward.
If humor is the trait you care most about adding to the family line,
We could use it. What was that? Sorry, Abigail. But we're out of time.
No, it's her life. Fuck off.
You're
No, it's how
right,
you
we
do
have,
things.
which is why we need to fight back.
Why should she
When you run
have
from
a baby?
responsibilities, you bring shame on all bellwethers.
It's having a baby at like 19. That's very different to anything else. The fact that she's braver than you.
That fire in your eye. Follow it to the ends of the earth, Abigail. Don't let us stop you.
Is that giving her permission to avoid the whole choosing someone thing?
Not your mother's.
Yes. Yes, grandmother. You've just given Abigail permission to not pick someone right now and not have a baby at 19. Is it just traditionally women are better at magic? Which is why we don't bother with letting men in. Because Adil is a very, very powerful witch. We've got Gregorio. You feel to think it would be equal. I suppose it's similar to in our world, the way women are just as capable as men, but traditionally they stayed home with the babies and didn't have careers.
Time to hunt.
Careful, my darling, but yes. I love them so much. His home is full again.
We fall.
What?
Oh, real.
She'd been leaving the house at night all week. Who knows where it was.
The spree.
I finally asked her about it. She denied it. Called her a liar.
She was lying to you, my darling.
That if she kept secrets from me, then she didn't really love me.
This is what she's been carrying all this time.
And there ain't a thing you could do to break your bond with her. So, if you can't feel her by your side, it just means she hasn't gotten there yet. You give her time.
Oh, Rael, I love you. And I hate that she's grieving for her mother, who just chose to become a mass murderer instead of being her mother. How do they have this? Is this... Do they have a biddy on their side?
Thank you.
What the fuck is the spree? Need to stop. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay, good. I mean, save these babies. I don't really care right now if they end up in the spree.
it was a remote attack. Sympathetic work.
Yeah, Maria.
Not a chance. They can only mimic our work up to a
Yep.
point.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be more attacks to come.
I mean, yeah, this is awful. If they could do that remotely, that is beyond terrifying. Alda does mean well for her people. She just needs to learn that she's not the only one that can know well.
I really believe we're less than human.
Not less. More. They're terrified of what we're capable of.
Oh.
God is protector.
Oh my god. Extraction. Because the VP knows about her. The VP knows that she has her witch bomb thing. Oh fuck. Oh my god. At least they're only taking Raelle. I mean, not at least. They needed to have everyone with them, but you know, we can all hunt them down. Tally, she saw them. Those witches are going to survive. We can all hunt them down and get Raelle back. Raelle can break herself out. It's going to be fine. Hi, okay, so this is the last time anyone will see me for a week because I'm officially going into a coma for a week. Medically induced because of stress. No, that ending was horrific. I was kind of waiting and expecting. Leaving Fort Salem. At Fort Salem, you were very, very protected. Obviously, the minute you got home, you were less protected. And 3 witches was not enough for a consecrated attack by the Camarilla. Now, obviously, I think this is proof that it is the Vice President that is the head of the Camarilla because we know he has a lot of information and power. He seemed forewarned about the attack to get his daughter away. He saw Raelle do the experiment, the test, and now they have taken Raelle, and I am very stressed about what that means. I mean, what they're planning for her. Do they just want to like take her vocal cords and use them themselves? They want to run tests on her to see what is wrong with her. I'm very stressed. I don't think they're going to kill Raelle, but I am stressed. I'm kind of glad that they only took Raelle. Now that is literally, I don't want them to take anybody, but if they'd taken like Tally as well, and the other witches, then that would be even more people that they would have in their hands. At least they kind of just took Raelle, which is like terribly horrific, but Tally and Abigail can help lead this battle to get her back, and they're both there. Whereas especially I think if they had Tally or somebody else, they could potentially use her against Raelle, whereas now Raelle can just be brave and strong because it's only her, although maybe there's the children too, I don't know. I'm fucking stressed with that ending. Okay, so Raelle's singing was everything, and Tally just was so happy, and I'm so glad she talked to her dad about the fact that she had a fight with her mum, the last thing she did, and she thinks, you can tell that that's why she thinks her mum didn't come, is because she's still angry with her. If your mum was dead, she would have been there. She would have been there quicker than any of the other ghosts in the world. She loved you so much. But her mum has a lot to answer for in making her kid grieve for her and joining the spree, and obviously she was off sneaking at night to the spree, planning, I guess, how she would fake her death and go to the spree, and then she left it on an argument too, because she knew she wasn't coming back, because she knew she was going off to join the spree. So really, Raelle's mother has a lot to answer for. Whatever your opinion is on the spree, whatever your opinion is on wanting to stop conscription, the spree are mass murderers. There is no other way around that, and she clearly didn't want to bring her daughter into it. She was happy to bring in kids like Scylla, but she could have very easily recruited Raelle into the spree, and she didn't, which is funny that she clearly thinks her daughter's too good to be part of this mass murdering spree, although then she'd later wanted to be brought in when she'd already joined the army, which just, what do you want about women? So I'm glad Raelle's mother is prioritising the Camarilla rather than the Nictor, who's kind of blindly going after Alder. Right now there is a bigger threat to the safety of witches than the army, whereas she's so blindly focused on that, and I'll get to that in a minute. Scylla, I do believe, is no longer someone that will take pleasure out of killing innocent people. Now, I think she probably would be classed as an anti-hero in that she will kill if she has to, and even if she doesn't have to, she will go after bad guys and make them pay, which I don't agree with. We should figure out a way for them to end up in prison or whatever, and maybe if there isn't a way, it's fine. But I don't think she would do another attack like the Maul again, and if she ever killed an innocent person, that would be it for her and Raelle, in my opinion. That would be it for her as a character I rooted for, whereas right now I think there is enough goodness that Anacostia has recognised in her. And obviously her not wanting, her thinking, if we get Tiffany to the Dodgers, then when Tiffany is grown, she will have a choice about whether she wants to join the spree and try and flee, or whether she wants to join the army and do as she must. Maybe even by then, conscription will be a thing of the past. If we find so many witches among the population, who knows? So with the spree, I do think Nictor is blinded by her hatred of Alder and her anger at what her work was used for. But she was really angry that Alder used the work to kill some witches that had been fighting against them. But she's totally okay with killing millions of innocent people. So Nictor, as with the whole concept of the spree, your argument is good. I agree with your argument. Your actions have invalidated every single bit of your argument and have probably invalidated anybody peacefully trying to get your argument put through. Her magic was very scary. Nictor is clearly a very talented witch, very skilled at coming up with new workings, because this is the second one that non-canon working they've seen, able to remote attack Alder. Now, did they have somebody else in there working with them? Have they somehow planted some sort of spell bug on Anacostia to help them get through it, or one of the biddies? That that was really terrifying to think that at any moment the spree could just target someone. Now, would that only work on Alder because she's the head of the army and the medals come through the army, or what? But that's terrifying to think that could happen at any moment. And like at least like up close attacks, you have a chance to fight and see it. That was very terrifying. I'm worried about the biddies. I kind of feel like she might need a whole new crop of biddies to recover from this, but yeah, that was stressful. I mean, it was Alder. I feel bad for the biddies. They're already these brainwashed girls being given up their entire lives. Alder needs to wake up and accept that she's not the only person who knows the right thing to do. I think, yes, she brings a wealth of experience to the table, but she also needs to listen to fresh ideas from younger minds, from people that have been in the fight recently, and she needs to listen to people like Anacostia and Petra far more. I also do think she is a little bit blinded as well, because she cannot comprehend the idea that somebody who's in the spree might not just be a mindless, psychopathic, sadistic killer. Like, she thinks, oh, Anacostia, you trusted Ramshorn too much, therefore you shouldn't be in the mission anymore now. Her face has been seen, so in that sense, she's not going to be very good at undercover work, but if she could keep that tab on Scylla, that is knowing where Scylla is, working with her, you've got that connection to the spree. And slowly but surely, Anacostia is reminding Scylla that she doesn't enjoy murdering innocent people. Yeah, Anacostia would never have murdered the husband, but he was a dick. Scylla can kind of maybe next time, get him arrested. Free card for that one, I guess. But yeah, so I think Alder is also blinded to the spree. Now that is partly probably because she knows the part she played in causing it. It is one of her biggest mistakes. Like Tally said, she gave them a whole other front to fight on. Right now, they should be able to focus every single bit of their attention on the spree, on the Camarilla, but they've got the spree right there. So I think that is true on both sides. Both the spree and Alder need to be able to realise that you can have other ideas. You can bend from your strict moral thing right now to focus on the bigger threat, and then once that's all well and done, we can deal with what the original fight we were having. Abigail's family, oh, that was a mess. I'm so thankful for her grandmother. I kind of hope that, like, often, especially in TV shows, you have like the strict matriarchal grandmother who has different ideas to Petra, and it did seem to me as though she was giving Abigail the green light to not pick a suitor and to carry on waging the war. I also think it's so hard because I can totally understand to an extent if you've got like a dwindling population of witches, every single young witch needs to have as many babies as possible. But that just, to me, they're kids, like, they're 19. I know they are soldiers and they're fantastic, brave young women. I admire them so much. They're children still themselves. They are very young. Yeah, obviously the danger is, like, Chauvel, Abigail could die tomorrow and then, damn, there's a new baby. Whereas if we get a baby out of her quickly, we let Chauvel get a bit older, you know? I just think it's so wrong to force it on her if she's not ready, because motherhood in itself is a huge deal. Part of me is like, in our current modern day science, people like freeze their own eggs for later in life. Is there not some way that we could do that? Like, obviously that's still a very invasive procedure, but it's not quite having the baby now. Could we not freeze eggs for a later date when Abigail is ready, or even use surrogates, and they could raise and then like the bellwether family to raise the kids? I don't know. I feel like trying to find some sort of compromise that doesn't involve forcing Abigail into motherhood at 19. That is still a very invasive process, still a lot of trauma, or not just a lot for a kid to go process, but it's so much to put on her and to kind of be so insistent with it and to surprise her with it. She's coming home for Thanksgiving break and now pick a baby daddy. I mean, that is stressful. And you know, right now she is a kid. Right now she has something very sweet and very real with Adil. She has been through so many traumas. Don't add your family's traumas too. So I'm glad the grandmother kind of gave her the green light. I fully support her and Adil with their mission. Abigail being vengeance on the Camarilla that killed Chauvel on the Camarilla in general, I am here for, especially now that they've taken Riel. But I'm scared because, as always, going up against, so far we've not yet reached the point where kind of we have the upper hand on the Camarilla. Now maybe Abigail's going to help us get there with her Vender's mission, with her kind of using the blood track. Maybe she can track down the Camarilla person when he's on its own rather than when he's in the group. But it's just, so far they've always had the drop on us, so I'm stressed whenever we come up against them. Tally is very much... When we first met Tally, she was wide-eyed. She looked at the atrocities the spree were committing, and she thought, I know I have dispensation, but I don't care. I have to do my duty. I have to do what's right. I have to fight. And I really admire that strength, because she had a dispensation, she didn't have to do it, but she looked at the atrocities of the world and she believed in the army and the message and Alder so wholeheartedly, wide-eyed at the beginning. Then by the time we had the finale, when they were in the Turin or going to save them, she was questioning Alder. She had seen that Alder's methods were not always good. Becoming a biddy, she got the full rush of Alder's thoughts and Alder's intentions, and her intentions are to help people. But now, with some distance from that bond, which, like Alder said, it will distance, and seeing these horrific memories, she's realising yet again that Alder is a person, same as everyone, that Alder has made mistakes, yet Alder acts as though she hasn't and she hides them. Tally has a lot of information on Alder, and that still stresses me out because Alder is probably not someone you want to corner, but Tally's desire to change things. You know, Raelle's right. The three of them are powerful. They have survived things that they shouldn't have done already. They are the leads of a TV show, so they're going to survive a hell of a lot more, I pray, including this, what's happening right now. But they will survive this, but Tally's saying she doesn't want to just survive, she wants to change things, she wants to make the world better, and oh my goodness, that ties in with kind of what Abigail said in one of her arguments of, this world is not one which we should bring any kids into, they're going to be killed by the Camarilla, what's the point? You know, make it safe for them and then have the children. I just think, I have such hope in these three girls that they're going to be able to change the world if stuffy old people like Alder don't stop them. It's kind of how I feel about like young people today, that I'm like, they have such idealism, and hopefully with the fact, like with the generation above them being supportive too, we're going to be able to do stuff. I don't know. Young people are great. I count myself as a generation above them. I'm sort of, I'm a millennial, vaguely cusping Gen Z, but I'm not a Gen Z. Yeah, anyway. Mid-90s is a rough time to be born if you want to know what generation you're in. But anyway, I'm getting very off topic. Raelle and her dad was everything, like I said. And then that ending, I kind of, all episode, the minute they were home and we saw the van, I was initially like, oh, it's probably the military, but it could be something terrifying. It could even be her mother spying on her. The worst case would be the Camarilla. And just throughout the episode, I kept thinking something's going to happen. Maybe this will just be a sort of calmer episode where we get to like check in with where our characters are, what they're at, how their heads are going. And then they saw that they were targeting Raelle, and then it happened, and it was a targeted strike. She left the house, she was vulnerable, they took them down. Now, I think, to be honest, the Camarilla missed a trick by only taking one witch. They could have taken many witches, had their vocal cord pleasure with them, or, you know, threatened them to get Raelle to do whatever they wanted to do or whatever. I'm quite glad that they seem to have only taken Raelle, because that is, you know, like I said, Raelle, as she kind of said to Tally, I'll always have a choice. Now, I pray that stays true. Maybe they'll threaten the kids and that will obviously take away some choice from her, but she will fight. She will give it everything she's got. Now, obviously, Scylla and Raelle's mother, Willa, know that, Scylla and Willa, they know that Raelle has been taken by, well, they know that they want to take her, and it will not take very much any of their people they have inside the army. The army will be on red alert because Raelle is not only just one of their soldiers that's been taken, but she is their secret weapon that has been taken. They will be desperate to get her back, and so that could very, very, very well lead to the point that Raelle finds out her mum's alive, and I am very stressed about that. I think the mother's friend probably is thinking, holy shit, she might be alive, because if the rule is no spirit can say no on All Hallows Eve on Fort Salem, and then her mum did, you would be thinking, oh my god, well, is she not alive? Did something happen to her spirit? Like, you'd be wondering. I'm very stressed. Like, I don't think I've even fully processed that ending yet. Like, I haven't fully processed it, I'm going to be honest. I will be crawling into a cave, entering a medically induced coma until next week. I wish. But no, this was such a phenomenal episode as always. I am not okay with how it ended. And yeah, thank you for watching.